When the CAMCAT system was set up in Weißenkirchen, Georg Riha says the weather kept the team on their toes. Sunshine would have been nice, but then it could have been worse. Corpus Christi in Weißenkirchen. One of 3 extremely complex CAMCAT shots is being set up. The team is working with full concentration. In the narrow streets, huge semi-trucks and a 200-ton crane must be positioned. Hundreds of meters of cable are laid and obstacles removed. In this instance, the crane alone cannot do the job. To reach high enough, a specially built extension is added. In the middle of setting up, it begins to rain. The chute seems at risk. But the crew is unruffled and continues to work. As if in triumph, the crane finally raises its extended arm 100 meters high against the threatening clouds. Cables are mounted. The CAMCAT is the world's leading camera cable car system, developed and built by Brains and Pictures. 5 units are in operation around the globe. The lightweight cable car, constructed of carbon fiber and honeycomb elements, and the mounted camera are both remotely controlled by Georg Riha and his team. However fascinating the technology, looking into the camera is strictly forbidden. As soon as the participants in the Corpus Christi celebration enter the square, the camera rises and rises and rises. Controlled by the director, it hovers all the way up to the top of the church tower. Meanwhile, Leo Altsinger greets the camera team like old friends. Another CAMCAT shot is imminent. The camera track is defined, the pylons are set up. Today there's no crane. The CAMCAT is being adapted to the terrain. The system can do tracking shots of 1,000 meters. The crew's routine is obvious. After years of trial, the system guarantees stability and safety, even under extreme physical stress and in difficult terrain. A final electronic check makes sure the camera is ready for its autumn excursion across the vineyards. Unnoticed, almost bird-like, Georg Riha can now approach the Altsinger family. And even in complex situations, both parties do all they can to support each other in their work. After all, the day's targets have to be met on both sides. Georg Riha is impressed with and politely grateful for the Altsingers' patience.
Unsere Partner zu quälen, weil wir ja eigentlich immer sehr schnell reagieren mussten. Sie waren rührend und extrem geduldig. Und dafür danke ich nochmals. Ja.
Not only CAMCAT and CAMRAIL are in action in the Altsinger vineyards, but also a huge jib that gives the camera an 18-meter sweep over the terraces.
Wenn du auf Position gehst, ob das abgesichert wird, hat nicht zu fest.
Also ich kann nicht tiefer gehen. Das bedeutet, wir müssen mit dieser Höhe
Leo Alzinger's most difficult job is to comply with the precise positions and movements required by the director. Then he has to act like a professional actor, totally ignoring the camera. Alzinger senior before the camera, his son already behind, supporting the crew with visible enthusiasm.
So, wir sind im Standard.
Können Sie dann noch ein bisschen knapper runter?
Knapper und schneller oder nur knapper?
In contrast to the fully automatic tracking systems, the jib is still worked manually, a chance for Alzinger Jr. to show his natural talent. Georg Riha controls the camera at the end of the jib with a crankhead. Justifiably proud, Alzinger Jr. enjoys working on the other side for a while, demonstrating the easy relationship between his family and the film crew. The assistant stretches for one last cleaning check. Then Georg Riha gives his command.
So, Herr Alzinger, tun Sie bitte. Jawohl, jawohl, zum Zug, komm.
Successfully, the camera completes its circular tracking, and the director can again end his shooting day and congratulate his crew.
Schluss, Burschen. Gratuliere, danke.
A well-deserved drink, even if it's not wine, yet. After a few moments of reflection and enjoying the sunset, there's still much to do, dismantling all the gear, and then a long drive back to base. The harvest from days in the field, rolls and rolls of rushes to be carefully labeled and delivered to post-production. In the Avid Symphony Suite at Brains and Pictures, Georg Riha sits with editor Gudrun Nieder. The entire post-production process is handled by in-house facilities. The rushes are not always perfect. In a time-lapse sequence, motorboats or birds look like image errors. Martin Steiner corrects the images on an Avid DS in high-def resolution. Wolfgang Kruzek at the duo Noisia composes an original music track, drawing his inspiration from the moody images. Wolfgang likes to use natural instruments. The classical music sequences are recorded at the Brains and Pictures sound studio by Trilogy, a Vienna-based trio of world renown, consisting of an Englishwoman, a Russian, and a German. Based on the rhythm and flow of the music track, individual shots are mounted into sequences and stories. But it's not just the music that creates a mood. Sound effects give the images an authentic feel, even though some of them are created in the studio, not the field. Andreas Schneider is inspired by natural materials he sees and often works magic with simple means. The commentary is the final stone in the arch, and that takes not only the right words, but also the right voice.